All right, we are back. Dynasty Trades in 5. I'm Clay.
Shane.
I am Scott. This is going to be one that we're going to go full circle on. Maybe a guy I was very critical
We're
of as a
we're gonna
prospect.
we're gonna plod through it. That's what we're
Yeah,
gonna do. We're
we're
gonna
going to
plod
plod
through
through
it.
this one and
In
maybe break
3.7
a couple
minutes.
tackles.
Yeah, so we're talking about Najee Harris tonight. He's had like 268 carries, 3.7 yard per carry.
Oh,
All right. So advanced math, he's like 16 yards away from 1,000 yards. That's the most brutal 1,000 yards ever. What are your thoughts, Shane?
I
Shaking your
don't.
head.
I don't
You
like
don't
him.
like
I
Najee?
don't like him. I don't care if he hits 1,000 yards, dude.
Oh, I
First of
know.
all, yeah, it's going to be on how many carries. 3.7 yards per carry is Jesus Christ. That is terrible. He is awful. And I know everyone's going to tell me, well, it's because Pittsburgh line is awful, right? But then they'll ignore the fact that he's part of what's carried his scoring is that Ben Roethlisberger had to dump off to him 70 times. So somehow what people are going to tell you is that, well, Pittsburgh line is going to get better and he's still going to get 70 dump offs from whoever the new Ben is. And all of a sudden he's going to be good next year. He's not. His volume will keep him afloat, which I guess in the end is all that really matters, right? And, look, I'm not a scout, but when I watched the football on the field, there's literally nothing special about him. He's adequate. I'll say that. He's very adequate. He's very good at taking carries and getting the yards that are blocked. But you have to look at the Pittsburgh offense. Is this how they want to run? Do they want their focal point to be Najee Harris getting 70 receptions a year and running 270 times for 1,000 yards? That doesn't seem like a winning strategy to me, just based off their offense being classified as, if you actually look it up in the stats, it says hot dog shit is what their offense is. So I don't know that they're going to want to continue being hot dog shit. But that's just my personal belief.
Yeah, we'll go kind of full circle with this because I agree with Shane. I'm not a person that likes to evaluate based on what I watch, but when you watch the Steelers with Najee Harris, the last thing you think of is that's a guy that I'm scared of. That is just going to make plays and he's going to make things happen. He's a very skilled player. He can catch the ball. He has good hands. He moves okay, like side by side. You know what I mean? Like he can break some tackles, but just doesn't. He's not a player where you're like he scares you when you're watching him. It's kind of like I'm just going to let him get what's there. People have compared him to Joe Mixon, but I'm like at least Joe Mixon can. I mean, he has some burst. You know what I mean? Like when he gets in the open field, he has more burst from what I can see than Najee Harris. So I guess it comes down to Najee's still at that uber peak point in his dynasty values, and in his second year. Forget about his age. It's funny to crap on his age. I did it until he was in the NFL, but then ultimately, all we care about really is this runway of time where he's still on a rookie contract. His job's not going to be threatened. He's probably going to end up with what 375, almost 400 touches this year. So will he ever have more? I guess that's the thing. Is it's like you might have hit his peak in terms of touches. Even if the offensive line gets better and the offense becomes more explosive, does that really mean it's better for him? His yards per carry probably goes up. Maybe his touchdowns go up, but his overall numbers go down. His catches surely are going to go down. He's not going to be a guy that's going to catch 80 balls a season. I mean, you're kidding yourself if you think that that's going to be, the norm. It's probably going to be more like the 45 to 50 catches a year, I would say. So it's really just how do you maneuver the ADP board with him. I like the idea that Shane said, whether it's Mixon or insert any veteran running back, if you can get a first on top of any of those veteran running backs, you're essentially just selling away insulation to somebody else. You're probably going to have to worry about that running back spot like 2 years earlier than the guy that has Najee. But the guy that has Najee may just be getting like, I don't know, the RB10 for the next 3 or 4 years at best. So what is he really getting? You know what I mean? He's not lapping you in terms of like replacement value at the position. So I think there's a lot of moves to be made with him.
Okay. So we just ran a poll and I think it's close to closing and Eckler's going to win it, but it was Javonte Williams versus Eckler in the 108. And Eckler in the 108, I think has like 2/3 of the votes, something like that. Would you rather have Najee Harris or Austin Eckler and the 110?
Oh, give me Eckler in the 110.
Yeah, I think just if you use a transitive property, I'd rather have Javante over Najee Harris. So I think those same deals apply. Just as we were talking about, I'd still take the Eckler in the piece.
So how about Najee Harris or DJ Moore in the 106?
I'm just looking at Shane.
Yeah, I know.
DJ Moore is like my kryptonite. I don't know. I don't know what to say.
I'd take the pick. I'd take DJ in the pick because again, I don't like to trade Najee away and don't get a running back because we talked about maybe we'll do a longer episode in the future on team building, but I still probably, if I have Najee, I probably want to get some sort of shot, either a running back or a pick that can get me a running back. But I can do that at the 106. Am I going to get the running back in the class? Maybe not, but I'm going to get one of the top 3. And I'm pretty sure that guy's going to have, top 40, top 50 draft capital. So then it's like, okay, what did I get on top? DJ Moore? I mean, he's at least worth a first. So I basically did the same thing. It's just a little more creative.
Yeah, that's something I'm definitely making sure I do. If I'm trading away a stud running back, I want a running back in return, or I want a 23 first as part of the package. I want to be able to reload with that class. Who else we got? So straight up, Tyreek or Najee?
Tyreek.
Yeah, I agree.